Well, it's great having everybody here today. It's a great honor to be hosting the Secretary of Education. What I thought we'd do is kind of tell you a little bit about the format, is that public-private partnerships are very, very difficult to do. We've done a lot of public-private partnerships over the past 10, 15 years. But what we thought we'd do is just kind of let all the partners have an opportunity to talk a little bit how this happened and why this happened. How did you build this institution, why in a school in the same together in this kind of community?
This partnership was probably one of the earliest and most successful, and it was a partnership between the YMCA, between a private developer, between the city of Orlando, and of course Orange County Public Schools. There was overcrowding in our public schools, and we were looking at ways to bring some construction forward and ease the congestion in our schools, and also build some great facilities. And this is one of the finest and an example of the different entities coming together to find a solution. The developer front-ended the money on the construction and ended up with a great joint use facility that I think every time anybody comes to see an education facility in Central Florida, this is the one that they come to as a great model of what you can do when you work together.
We have been able to be considered a high-performing district by our own State Department of Education. They've rated us an A grade for the second year in a row. The partnerships that we have help make that happen because we cannot do it alone. And when the city and the Y and the local hospital here and the school district and the developer got together years ago and decided they were going to make this a special place, you can see it happen.
And as the developer of what used to be called a 7,000-acre cow pasture, I respect your vision for valuing partnerships and collaboration. The folks here understand that education is the foundation for economic development, that a YMCA, a community activity center, is really the glue that creates the activities, the memories, and the bonds that keep a family and a community together. When you spend time here and see the two concepts flourishing under the same roof, sharing the same vision, that's when you begin to realize the true sustainability of this model and the value of collaborating with good partners. When this was done, it was revolutionary. There was no other model like it that we found in the country. And magic happens here every day.
The dream is to bring families back together and to educate children by developing the whole child. So that means academically, socially, and a healthy lifestyle.
Many of them play team sports together at the Y and participate in wellness programs like a Kid Fit program that we have here. Also, the Y After School program is unlike any other. Where else would you get to go swimming after school or play basketball in a huge indoor gym? The Y helps with that in that they provide childcare for the younger siblings so that these parents can come in and be a part of their older child's class and have their younger children taken care of. The children have a comfort level here unlike any other regular school experience can provide for them.
Another benefit to having the YMCA here is when I was able to be on swim team. This is my mom's favorite part because I didn't have to leave the school to go. I could go on and on about how great it is being here, but if you want the proof, you could look at my grades. This year, I got straight A's the whole year, which is presidential honor roll. And I think a big chunk of that is from having the YMCA combined with the school.
I'd love to understand a little bit more from folks why you think this doesn't happen more often, and what would it take, if this is a phenomenal model, why isn't this happening all over the country and other places? What can we do collectively to encourage other folks to move in this direction? It makes sense for children, it makes sense economically, it makes sense for the community. So I'd like to learn more what we can do to push that.
I think the biggest reason why this doesn't happen, actually two reasons. One is funding, not to state the obvious, right? And the other is, partnerships aren't easy, but they're better.
But I think the vision is, our kids need schools open longer, they need to be safe, families need it. This is just the way, I think this is the model of what a 21st century school should be. This should be the norm.
So you talk about islands of excellence, and how do you bring things to scale? This is certainly one of those islands that we want to bring to scale? How do you, because we think this can revolutionize education if you build community centers and schools together. Is there any questions in the group?
I was wondering whether your department has developed a template or a model for measuring the effectiveness of partnerships like we have here at Lake Nona.
It's a great question. I don't think we have, and it's something for us to think about. I think we're getting more and more sophisticated in evaluating student achievement, but of sort of evaluating partnerships, we haven't done that kind of work, and that might be something for us to do a much better job of spotlighting and highlighting. We want to invest in reform, we want to invest in innovation, we want to take to scale what works, and I think we have this chance of a lifetime to dramatically improve education outcomes and life chances for our children. And so we want to take risks, we want to be daring, we want to do some things in an entrepreneurial fashion that maybe the federal government hasn't always been great at doing, but we think that's the only way we're going to get where we need to go. And I think we feel a real sense of urgency, too, that I think we have to get dramatically better as a country. And we have to educate our way to a better economy. I think of this as a civil rights issue of our generation. We have too many children trapped in poverty because we fail to educate. And so whether you look at it from a moral imperative or an economic imperative, the status quo is not going to get us where we need to go.
What can those of us in this room do today to help you model this example that we have that works so well?
Do 10 more of these.
That is our goal, is to do 10 more.
I mean, honestly, again, I think this is, again, I go back to where I started. Think if every child in the country had a chance to go to a school and a community center in a Y like this. It would be amazing. I promise you the dropout rate would diminish. I promise you we'd have many more students be successful. I promise you we'd have much stronger families where everyone knows each other and knows the younger siblings. And so this is what we need to do as a country. And I need a set of folks with the courage and the vision and the leadership to come together and demonstrate what's possible. And again, I think many people wouldn't think this is possible. It sounds good, but you guys are living and breathing every day. So I'm just so appreciative for that collective leadership here. And the more you can show it's not just one exception. We talked about moving from islands of excellence to systems of excellence. One of these is a great, great, phenomenal island. You start to have 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. That starts to be the norm rather than the exception. And I think it would demonstrate to the country. You have a model. You have a model for the country right here. If you can replicate that model, that would be fantastic. It's just absolutely amazing to see. And I just think if every child in the country had these kinds of opportunities, think how much better they'd be doing long term. So I just want to thank everybody here for your collective leadership. It looks easy, and I know how hard this really is. I know how hard it is because it just doesn't happen in too many places. And so the set of relationships, the set of partnerships, the collective vision is extraordinary. And so it's one thing for me to read about it, and some sense of it, to see it is it's fantastic. So I want to thank all of you.